We back, y'all. We back. And this one is finna most definitely be a good live tonight. Y'all do me a favor, like it up, drop them nines to let me know my audio good. And please, please, please do not forget to share it. Like it up, share it, drop the nines to let me know my audio was great, y'all. We finna cut up tonight, man. And I'm back again with Wi-Fi's, man, because to be honest, man, this guy has some great content. I advise y'all to get over there and check him out. Get over there and check him out. But this is going to be a very interesting topic tonight, y'all. It's going to be a very, very interesting topic because at this point, man, we just have to accept the fact, man, that we are not alone. We are not alone in this realm, man. Okay? And so tonight, man, we're going to be talking about the shadow people and the Hatman. It's crazy, man. So, Rosalind Jackson, I see you was here first, Reflection, man. Thanks for the nines, too, man. Thanks for the nines. Steve Thornton, thanks for the nines, Reflection. Master Abel Noble, 999. Peace to you, too, Reflection and love, bro. Pamela Talley, say you ready to learn something. Well, you most definitely finna learn something. That's big facts, man. Good evening to you, too, Kevius. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live, Kimberly Michelle. Thanks for the nines. And thanks for always tagging K-Ron, K-Dog Harvey, man. Big facts. Thanks for the nines, CC Smith. Tracy Martinez. Thanks for the nines, Queen. Steve Thornton. Thanks, Grand Rising to you too, Reflection. Well, it's not a rising where I'm at. We actually like getting ready to go to sleep here, but hey, Grand Rising, you know. Thanks for sharing, Kimberly Michelle. Y'all like it up and share it too, man. Like it up and share it. Pound that like button, man. Pound that like button, man. I said pound that like button, man. Do not be a hater, man. Okay, we all got a job to do. I'm going to bring the information. All you have to do is hit that share button, man, and pound that like button up. That way we can defeat the algorithm, if you feel me. Okay? Pamela Challey, thanks for the nine. Say, newbie in the house, man. Well, you're going to enjoy this page, man. I guarantee you're going to enjoy it, man. But while you over there, please do not forget to hit that post notification bell and select all. That way you will be notified every time we go live. Also, don't forget to subscribe, man, because we about to cut up. That's big facts. We about to cut up. Finesse and Justice say, I'm not tripping. We laugh and lit. That's most definitely it. Virginia Morales, thanks for the nines, Reflection. Thanks for sharing, Kevius. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Thanks for sharing, Reflection. 93 Supreme, peace to you too, God. CC Smith say, hey to all the guys and goddesses, man. Hey there. Keon Allen, I don't know if you sent stars or not, man, but if you did, thanks for the stars, Reflection. Thanks for the stars. Trying to get Facebook sometime. Y'all know Facebook be playing, man. Substance Love, thanks for the nines. Mike's Snodgrass, thanks for the nines. Get Back Gang, bye. Thanks for the nines, Reflection. Kivius, thanks for the nines. Kimberly say, let go, let go, let go, let go. We finna get ready to go. Don't even worry about it, Reflection. Nunu King, welcome to the live. Mecca, thanks for the nines. King and Allen, thanks for the nines. Carter Lee, thanks for the nines. Lisa Williams, I can always expect you to be here. I can always count on you to be in the building, Reflection. Thanks for the nines. And peace and love to you too. Okay. William Moffitt Sr., thanks for the nines. Jenny Watson, thanks for the nines. Robert Humphrey say had experience with the Hatman. Whew. Hey, you know what's so crazy, man? It's a lot of people, man, that has actually had experience with the Hatman. Me, myself, I don't think I've ever had experience with the Hatman, but with shadow people, I've heard stories. I've heard several stories of the shadow people, man. I've actually seen what I would consider to be spirits, though, but I don't know if they were actually shadow people. Finesse and say, I'm actually on time today. Happy to see you on time today, Reflection. Letitia Jones, thanks for the nines and thanks for tagging Ashley Unique. Finesse and Justin say, let's cut up, G. We most definitely finna cut up, God. We finna cut up, y'all. Y'all already know what it is, man. Buck Jones, thanks for the nines. Raymond Watley, thanks for the nines. Tanya H. Mills, thanks for the nines. Kimberly Michelle, I don't know if you sent stars, Reflection, but if you did, thanks for the stars, goddess. Sherry Runaway Williams, thanks for the nines. Trisha Boyer, Peace Reflection, thanks for the nines. King and Allen, thanks for the nines. Tanya H. Mills, thanks for the nines. King and Allen, if you did send the stars, I appreciate it, Reflection. Peace, Kings and Queens. Andre Drama Boy say, peace, Kings and Queens. Peace to you too, God. Steve Thornton, peace, 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 peace to all who joining the live. Divine 111. I love that name, man. 111. You know you bringing, it's a portal opening up in your life at this very moment, God. That's big fact. You bringing good things into your life. You manifesting with that number. That's big facts. Naisha or Naisha Monet, thanks for the nines. Steve Thornton say, I want a grand sunset reflection. Oh, you meant grand sunset? Oh, okay. All right. Love and light to you too, Trisha Boyer. They messing with the live already. I get so tired of Facebook. That's why y'all got to get over to YouTube, man. That way we ain't got to do it over here like that. You feel me? They always cutting up with the live, man. I get tired of it, man. Letitia Jones say, watching with you. Thanks. I appreciate you for being here, Ashley Unique. I apologize. Ashley Unique says she's watching with Letitia Jones. Say, King Allen, you say you did twice. What do you mean by that? Letitia Jones, welcome to the live. Janetta Burton. Oh, you say you did send the stars twice? Thank you. Janetta Burton, welcome to the live. Maine Murray, thanks for the nines. Kimberly Michelle, thanks for the nines. I mean, well, say it's me or is he going in and out? Y'all, they love to do this, man, on Facebook, man. Facebook got it out for me, y'all. They do not like the information nor the content that I push. But who cares? Who cares? Because it's really finna get deeper than this, y'all. Understand that. It's about to get deeper than this, man. I'm just trying to find a way to balance things out on my side, and then we finna cut up way deeper than this. So if they worried about this little stuff, man, look. Letitia Jones, Denise Cole, thanks for the nines. Christopher Reese say, peace, guys and goddesses, ready to get into this. Most definitely. Tanya H. Mills, thanks for the nines again. Chris Johnson, CEO, thanks for the nines. Say his name is Scratch. Who name is Scratch? King Allen. Thanks for the stars, Celissa Williamson. I appreciate it. K. Arthur, thanks for the nines. Tanya H. Mills, thanks for the nines again. Say, what is the Hatman? Oh, we finna get into who the Hatman is, man. We finna get into the Hatmans. But first, let me go ahead and just start this out with the right spiritual energy. I want to say peace to the gods and goddesses, peace to the ancestors, and peace to all the high vibrational beings on the planet. Peace to the ascended masters, peace to the spiritual guides, and peace to the Most High for continuously giving me the strength, the love, and the courage to be here, to even be able to shed light on certain situations, man. And y'all already know what it is, man. We most definitely about to get ready to cut up.
Yeah, I'm about to expose every lie they done told, like how they trafficking kids and why they ain't got a soul. They feeding off our energy, trying to destroy the globe. They got weather control, they even making it snow. But we can't run from it, gotta grab it by the antler.
Shout out to Two-Tab Grass. Two-Tab Grass, I apologize, Reflection, man. Shout out to Two-Tab Grass from Chi-Town, man. Shout out to Chi-Town. Chi-Town in the building. Chi-Town in the building, man. Shout out to the guy, man, for coming to join us from Chi-Town, man. John Clerk say, that's why I watch you on YouTube, man. Back to another one, Cut Up God. That most definitely. Say, with the suit, head of the shadow people. That's big facts. Hey, and you know what? He is the elite. He is the elite ones from what I'm hearing. If you see the Hatman, bro, you know, legend has it that if you see the Hatman, it's a tragedy that's about to get ready to take place either in your family or somewhere around you, okay? So, to be honest, man, this is my first time, you know, actually hearing about the Hatman. I've always heard about the shadow people, okay? Especially during my time in juvenile detention, okay? I had a couple people that would come along and say that they would see these shadowy figures. I know a lot of you, if you've been following me for some time, you heard me actually speak about this. Excuse me. You heard me speak about this situation, man, when I was in juvenile detention, how a couple of the guys would tell me. I remember one in particular, one of the guys who was actually in an infirmary. So for those of you who don't know what an infirmary is, that's actually like a hospital. Okay, that's what they call a hospital inside of these juvenile, facilities. And he was telling me that one night he was just up looking out his window, man, and he seen a group of these shadowy, hooded-like figures, man, almost as if they were like the Grand Reaper, y'all. They were walking toward the Catholic church or the chapel. Okay, this is what they call them. And he said, man, he couldn't believe what he was seeing at the time, so he kind of just shook his head off. And then he laid in his bed and he could just feel the presence of these people like being over him. Okay. So, you know, after I heard that story, I was watching like a channel, man, called Paranormal Activity a little while later. And I was introduced to these shadow figures again, man. And It's said that these shadow figures like to basically they come for your energy, y'all. They come for your life force, your chi, your piranha ayana, your breath. Okay, and they're like the Grand Reaper. Okay, but whether you want to believe it or not, there are so many people, y'all. I've seen so many people talking about their experiences with the shadow people. And that's why I say, man, we have to just deal with the fact, y'all, that we are not on this plane of planet by ourselves. We're just not. Okay. There is a spiritual realm, man, and there is a lot of paranormal activity that's going on around you. Okay. And I like to tell a lot of people, man, especially when we talk about spiritual guides and things like that, man, your spiritual guides are always around you. Your spiritual team, they always around you, man. And in certain situations like this, man, I really do feel like a lot of us don't encounter these beings because our spiritual team is right there. They're right there defending us at all times from these unnatural beings that's here on the planet. King Allen, thanks for the stars, man. Okay. And that's why so many of us don't actually end up experiencing these things. Okay. But yeah, like I said, man, this is going to be a very interesting live because it's some footage in here. I watched a little bit of it before I came on, but there's some footage in here that deals with, you know, that's going to actually show images that were caught on tape of shadowy figures, y'all. Of shadowy figures, man. So, I mean, without further ado, man, we're just going to go ahead and jump into this, man, because this is deep right here, y'all. Let's go. But I will say this, man. I cannot confirm or deny anything that's about to get ready to be said in this video, man. But as usual, I will ask that you use discernment when dealing with the situation.
Here's how it happens. You're drifting off to sleep, or maybe you wake up in the middle of the night. You feel a presence in the room. You see something out of the corner of your eye. You try to look, but you can't move. You try to call out, but you're unable to make a sound. There's an invisible weight on your chest. Even breathing is difficult. You strain to look, and then you see it. The shadow of a person. You can't detect any features, but every instinct you have tells you this entity is not friendly. You hear a light hum, maybe a rush of air, and the dark entity vanishes. You've just encountered a shadow person. Now this one was pretty benign, but there are some shadow people sightings that are more intense, more real. These encounters can be traumatic and in some cases, violent. I should know because it happened to me. Every culture has their own paranormal legends. Asian cultures, European, American, and so on. Some myths exist in cultural subsets like religions and individual countries. Even small towns and neighborhoods have their own legends. People raised in Michigan might not know what a chupacabra is, but they've heard of the Dogman. Americans might laugh at the story of Krampus, the evil version of Santa Claus who is half goat, half demon and punishes children, but mention him to kids in Germany or Austria, and they won't find it funny. Visitors to Ronkonkoma, New York enjoy swimming in the clear lake in the...
For a lot of y'all who don't know who Krampus is actually the modern day Santa Claus, okay, who comes down the chimney. But, you know, in the original story of Krampus, he's a punisher of the children. He actually kidnaps the children amongst other things, okay? And, you know, he's also related to Satan. And this is why they tell you that you should not be celebrating Christmas because it's not the day of you know, the Most High. But it's not the birthday of Jesus, but actually, you know, a celebration of Satan.
...of town. But locals don't go in the water out of fear of Tuscawanta, the Algonquin princess who drowns one young man every year in search of true love.
Or the crab cat.
The what?
No, the crab cat. All goldfish are afraid of him. He's half crab, half cat, who works in a sushi bar in the underworld.
They have sushi in the underworld?
Before the crab cat appears, you hear him sharpening his blade, and the room will smell like sake. If the crab cat catches you, he meows, omakase! Then he cuts off one of your fins, and you spend all of eternity swimming in circles.
Circles? Oh, because he cuts off one fin.
Fear the crab cat! Fear the crab cat.
Whether a chupacabra, evil Santa Claus, or a crab cat, these stories couldn't be any more different. But one legend is universal. Shadow people. Shadow people are seen in every culture on Earth. And shadow people encounters have been happening for thousands of years. And of all the thousands or maybe millions of shadow people encounters over the years, the descriptions are eerily similar. Most often, they appear as nothing more than silhouettes. They lack defining characteristics. You can feel that there are facial features there.
Yes, man, Murray. They do say King and Allen. He said King and Allen. I used to always see this man in a hat with red eyes, and I think he wear a trench coat. That's the description that they give of the Hatman. They say He has like a hat on his head, and he looks as if he wears a trench coat, and he's the leader of actually whoever it is of the shadow people. Okay.
But you can't see them. The majority of shadow people sightings happen when you're in bed at night, though they have been seen outside, especially in dark wooded areas. But a few shadow people have been seen in broad daylight. It's not uncommon to hear a humming or a buzzing or a whooshing sound when a shadow person is present. And some people hear electricity, and some people hear the shadow person whispering or even screaming in their ear. In most cases, the shadow people will disappear when you see them. They'll zip into a corner, fly through a wall, or just fade away. But in some rare cases, shadow people don't disappear. They become more clear and detailed. And in very rare cases, shadow people can be violent.
Hey, Jane Hecklefish. The first attached image was from the West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. It's a really tricky place that my paranormal team and myself have investigated many times. This was captured in the cafeteria by our night vision camera. We investigate in complete darkness and heard movement behind us. The camera captured this figure, and it's known to haunt this location. The second attached image was caught by Oakmont Paranormal in a joint investigation of the Andrew Carnegie Library and Music Hall in Pittsburgh. It looks to have glowing eyes. The lady sitting in front of the figure called our attention to the movement around her and said that she was feeling sick.
We're going to do a complete walkthrough. But you guys say something or do something. Oh my God! No! No!
The Choctaw have been in America for almost 4,000 years. They were among the 5 civilized tribes as described by Europeans, meaning the Choctaw had an organized and advanced society. They had a high literacy rate. They had centralized governments with written constitutions. They had a merchant class and would trade with other tribes as well as with Europeans. The Choctaw would accept white and black people into their tribes through marriage. And despite all these modern sensibilities, the Choctaw had a rich mythology. They have a story about the Nulusa Chito. This is a shadow being who appears when someone allows evil thoughts to enter their mind. The Nulusa Chito appears while they're sleeping and devours their soul. These entities are so terrifying to the Choctaw that to this day, many people will not say the name. The Choctaw also have Nulusa Philea, which—
This dude like Boogeyman or something, y'all. You hear me? He like Candyman in the ether community, y'all. Did nobody want to say the Candyman name, y'all? Y'all know what I mean? Drop them names if you know about Candyman, man. You was scared. I remember them times I would get pushed into that bathroom, man. My brother would be screaming Candyman. I'd be beating on the door trying to get up out of there. This dude is like Candyman, y'all. It's crazy.
Literally translates to long black being. This is a shadow person who lives in the woods and appears at dusk to torment hunters and children who stray too far from camp. Cultures from all over the world have similar legends. Medieval Europeans fear the incubus who assaults women while they sleep. The succubus assaults men. The word nightmare comes from ancient Germanic or Norse. A mare or mara is a demon that sits on your chest and tries to strangle you while you sleep. This creature is known as Kikimora to Russians, Czechs, and Poles.
That's something we was just talking about, how this demon actually rides your back. We call it the witch riding your back. You know, these are demons, y'all. That's what they are, you know. I'm pretty sure many of us have, you know, I know myself, I've been ridden by witches plenty of times, okay? But we know that they're nothing more than demons, and I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 of y'all in here who could say that y'all been ridden by these demons as well.
Even the Sumerians 5,000 years ago told stories of the Alu. The Alu roams the night searching for victims who are asleep. The Alu can paralyze you, possess you, and put you in a coma. In Arabian and Islamic mythology and theology, Jinn are supernatural creatures created from smokeless and scorching fire. Many Muslims believe the Jinn are real. An individual member of the Jinn—
Oh, the jinns are very real, y'all. I've encountered these jinns myself. They've actually manifested themselves in front of me. These are actually shapeshifters as well. The jinns are actually shapeshifters. And you have to understand, as above, so below, as below, so above. You see what I'm saying? So these jinns actually have families. They actually have, anything that, that you can name. Like in our reality, these jinns actually have the same thing. And they like to inhabit the body of people who are normally depressed, negative mindset. This is why I'm constantly telling y'all to raise y'all vibrations. Okay. You have to keep your vibrations raised, because when you're at a lower vibrational frequency, there are demons down there that are waiting to suck that energy from you and keep you at that lower vibrational frequencies. There's demons that's actually down there that's waiting to inhabit your body. Okay. And that's facts. See, a lot when you're dealing with these jinns, man, the jinns mostly inhabit the bodies of the ones who have actually sold them souls. These sold their souls. These are actually the ones that inhabit the bodies of the ones who've given up a loved one. It goes back to the story that we just had yesterday with the dealing with the shapeshifters and the the skinwalkers. Yeah. This is real deep, y'all. And I keep telling you, the more that you start to go within yourself, the more you start to balance your energy out, man, the more you're going to be able to get the abilities to be able to see these jinns. They're going to manifest themselves to you. I will never forget the first time a jinn manifested itself to me, bro. I think I told this story before, man. I was talking to somebody, man. Okay. And we were smoking. I was kind of venting to them. Okay. And the genie just came out. I'm like, I couldn't identify it. I had to shake myself off. Like, I really thought I was tweaking at the moment, because this is when I actually got high. Okay. I thought I was tweaking, y'all. And then I'm like, man, you know what? I'm tripping. But I always question myself about this until about a year later, it manifested itself again in front of me through somebody else. And this is what I truly believe is a family demon. That's big facts.
Is known as a jinnie, and this is where we get the word genie.
Oh, like rub the lamp, genie?
Yep. Oh no.
Prince Ali, mighty is he, Alibaba.
But they can only do this. The Jinn are typically invisible, but when they want to be seen, they can take any shape they want. They're often seen as large, shadowy figures. Jinn are able to
and I promise you, y'all, this is how they looked. This is how they look. I was fighting with myself. I'm like, is it a fairy or something? But you heard what he just said. When they want to be seen, they will manifest themselves. Okay. So I'm assuming at this very moment, when they revealed themselves, they wanted to be seen. Okay. In hopes that they would scare me. They didn't scare me. I just thought I was tweaking at the time. Like, whoa, it's crazy, but they look exactly like this. Like you could see like the horns, and it's almost as if like once you allow your intuition to kick in, you're going to actually be able to see them like with a tail. It's going to be like as if they got like a point on their tail and everything, bro. You feel me? But this is how you know when people are demonically possessed and when people have done things, okay, in their lives that they won't speak of, that they don't want to arise from the dead. You know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Control of a human's body, but they can only do this if the victim is in a weakened state. Feelings of unhappiness and depression can make someone vulnerable to a jinn. Jinn have free will and can be either good or evil. The good ones will support, assist, or protect humans, but the evil ones, they can kill you.
At a job site, there were more than a few of them. Could never look at them straight on or they would vanish. The dogs reacted to them every time they appeared. Everyone at the job site saw them. The site was up in the Northern California foothills near Copperopolis. This area was active Native American territory. Also was very active during the gold rush. I would be sitting in a chair in the guard shack looking down the long driveway when something would catch my eye in my peripheral view. If I turned forward to it, it would vanish. If I focus my view down the road, I can see the outline of a person, mostly like a shadow, as if the apparition absorbed light rather than reflect. Part of our pass downs involved sharing what the shadow people did during that shift. Too many corroborated witness accounts to write it off.
Is this, man?
Americans are familiar with the Vietnam War, the proxy war.
That kind of looked like it was inside of a jailhouse facility. You know what I'm saying? And we often know that when, a lot of people tend, in the jailhouse, like depending on what level of what level the jailhouse is, that can also depend on whether someone may or may not have passed up. Okay. And so you have to understand when we're dealing with the spiritual world, man, a lot of spirits, they become stuck in this reality because they don't know that they have passed yet, y'all, because they transition so fast. So for a prime example, you could be driving down the street in a car and you might get into a car accident. You see what I'm saying? And because it happens so fast, your soul kind of jerked itself out of his body. It don't even know it passed yet. It's like it's just reliving that day over and over again, okay? And it refuses to be, help. I've done videos over here where we talked about that. I might do another video over here again. But they talk about how, so certain souls will come down and try to help them, and they don't want to go because they don't know that they have transitioned yet. So they continuously living that day over and over again. So if someone would have passed, let's just say someone was in your house, they tripped, fell, and hit their head on the counter. They don't know that they passed, they transition, but all they know is that they see you when they home and they feel like you're invading their home. And this is where you get a lot of your haunted stories from, because these entities or these prior life forms that pass, they don't know that they've transitioned because they've transitioned so fast. And that could be a situation that we're talking about right now. Someone could have transitioned inside of this home or inside of that facility and did not know that he was transitioning. So he's living in that time and that day. He's walking around on the decks right now, not knowing that he is transitioned. It's crazy.
Between Cold War superpowers that lasted from 1955 to 1975. But what about the Laotian Civil War, which happened at the same time? It was fought between the Kingdom of Laos, supported by the United States and its allies, against Lao communists. It's also known as the Secret War in American intelligence circles because CIA recruited thousands of fighters from the local Hmong population to hold back the communists. Well, the Secret War did not go well for the CIA. The Hmong people became refugees and thousands of them fled to the United States. When the Hmong arrived in America, suddenly young, healthy men were dying in their sleep. Over 100 men died this way, and doctors had no idea what caused it. But the Hmong did know what caused it. They believe in an evil night spirit that sits on your chest until you suffocate. They call it a pressure demon. But as long as you're faithful to your rituals and keep your ceremonial objects near your bed, you're safe. The Hmong believed that they were being punished by shadow entities for leaving their homeland. To this day, there's no medical explanation as to why all these young men died. When this story appeared in the LA Times, Wes Craven was inspired to write A Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger is actually based on a shadow person. And as frequent as shadow people encounters were throughout history, it seemed to be a fringe phenomenon, something that happened in faraway lands and ancient civilizations. Nobody knew how common shadow people.
Y'all do me a favor, pound that like button up and share it, man. Please pound the like button up and share it, man. Okay? We got 99 people over here. We got 20 shares, man. Y'all pound that like button up and share it, man, please.
Sightings were. But all of that would change in 2001 when shadow people would go mainstream.
When I was on active duty in the Marine Corps stationed at Camp Pendleton, California, I had an encounter with a shadow person. Late at night on a weekend, I was alone in the barracks, stone cold sober. My roommate was on the other side of the base. As I go to bed, I turn over and slightly open my eyes. At this point, I see a shadowy figure come out from my roommate's closet and walk to his bed. I could see arms and legs moving. I see it literally crawl into his bed, and clear as day, I see the thing turn over like it was looking at me. In a panic, I back into the wall, never blinking and staring at what I just saw. I grabbed my phone and turned the flashlight on, only to see the bed empty. A few weeks later, I finally tell my roommate what I saw, and he was speechless and said he saw something similar a few days before I told him.
Somebody in there? No, find one. Find something. If somebody's in there, they didn't come out.
I don't know what.
Yeah, we need to get the out of here.
Seriously, oh my god.
My husband and I are paranormal investigators. We lived in Oklahoma. We decided to check out the Joplin spook light. I just turned the car off when my husband said he could hear a conversation coming from the field next to us. We didn't think anyone would be out in the dark and the cold rain just having a conversation. As I looked past my husband toward the field, I saw from the corner of my eye the light shining into the car was being blocked, starting from the left to the right. I quickly turned my head and watched as 1, 2, 3, 4 shadows ran behind the car and completely blocked the light from the yard light. Although he had driven about 100 miles to investigate the spook light, I put the car in gear and noped it out of there after parking for less than 3 minutes. My belief, anyway, is that shadow people don't really have anyone's best interest at heart, and I prefer not to spend time in the company of them.
Hey, you know, it's also said that your shadow is its own entity as well, y'all. It said that. Okay, your shadow is its own life form. Okay, but yes, and I do encourage a lot of people, man. Y'all need to make sure that y'all doing y'all research on the homes before you buying them, man. Because unbeknownst to you, man, and I found out myself after going through some things in my home, right, that someone had transitioned in this home. They you know, the landlords, they be so thirsty to give these houses up or make sure that these houses are getting sold and they're making their money for them, that they will not let you know that someone has transitioned in your home. Y'all do me a favor, like it up and share it. Okay, so it's going to be up to you to say, yeah, the house is very nice. You see what I'm saying? But it's going to be up to you to say, well, let me do a quick Google search or go down to the local library and see if I can dig up some history on this home, because you don't want to be living in that home with an entity and then you walk in the house and they still living in that very moment. You see what I'm saying? And now your house is being haunted. Everything in the house is breaking. You don't even know why the house is falling apart. That's because somebody is living in the home, bro. It's possessed. See, when you living in the home, bro, and I'm gonna tell y'all one thing that I immediately noticed, but I didn't pay no attention to. Okay, when I moved into my home, was that a lot of stuff started breaking. The door started falling off the handle. The little pull out drawer where the garbage would be started falling off the handle. You see what I'm saying? Things started just breaking, and I'm like, okay, the first thing that came to my head, because this wasn't what I was expecting, was that the house was it just looked good. We was fooled, right? We was fooled to believe that it was really a nice house, but in all actuality, it was just raggedy. But as I did my research, I started to notice that the house was actually possessed. Okay, I wouldn't even say it was possessed. I would just say that someone actually passed in the home. Okay, and it was causing the things to break. So there could be some form of possession. And as I did further research, I found out that the home was nothing more than a big ass altar. It's crazy, y'all. So I'm encouraging y'all, man, when you move into these homes, man, make sure that you are doing the research necessary before you move into these houses, man, because you can be walking right into Satan or Hell's kitchen. And that's big facts, man. Hey, and not to mention, man, I would never forget, bro, but I was not afraid, bro, because I'm a spiritual person. I'm not afraid of the other life, y'all. And the reason I'm saying is because C.C. Smith said my aunt brought a house and she said she was being hunted by the old man that lived there. She said doors would shut open and then close, you know, her shower would come on and off. You have to understand, bro, that, man, one day, man, I was in here, bro, and I promise you, it was like whatever was in here was trying to scare me, Joe. They was trying their hardest to scare me, bro. I literally opened up my pop, I set it down, and then I came back. I went in the bathroom, came back out. The pop was in the hallway, y'all. I promise you. I opened up my pop, I drank it a little bit, right? I set it down, and then I walked into the bathroom. I came back outside of the bathroom, the pop was in the hallway. I just laughed like, oh man, this is crazy. I just laughed, dog. But I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. You need to sage your home, okay, before you go into these homes. And you need to use dragon blood sage when you're doing it, okay? Also, you can use I want to say I can't think of it. Black salt. I don't know if it's black salt, but it's I can't think of it right now, but you make it with salt and burnt charcoal, okay? You could put that in there and you could stir it around as you walk through your home while telling whatever it is that's in your home that they don't belong here and you demand them to leave, okay? So you want to use that with a clear quartz crystal, okay? If you use that with a clear quartz crystal as you walk around your house and you stir it and you say it with authority, you don't belong here. Get out of here. You see what I'm saying? What's going to happen is that evil entity that's in your home is going to be sucked up inside of that crystal. inside of that thing. Then you want to put that black salt. Or yeah, somebody else said yeah, black salt. You feel me? And somebody else said you could use brick. Yes, you can use brick, but you want to do that. You want to put that around your house after you do this. You see what I'm saying? You walk around with it, you stir it up in your house, and then you put that black salt with the crystal inside of a glass jar, and you take it as far away from your home as you can, and you dig it somewhere. You dig it up and you bury it, and you put it in the ground. Okay? And then after you do that, you come right back in your home and you sage your home. Man, when I started to sage my house, man, the lights got the flickering. I'm telling you, somebody had sent me a demon though, y'all. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? Somebody sent me something. Somebody was trying to knock me off, okay? But as soon as I lit that motherfucker, say, hey, man, look, the story get deeper, but the light started flickering and everything, bro. The demon was getting mad in the house. I'm talking about, bro, these stories are very much real. Never doubt it, y'all. Say no sage, that's inviting demons. We are not to practice the ways of our enemy. Yahweh is the only protection. Nah, man, you can use sage. Believe what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Sage is not what you think it is, man. You can use the sage, man. Take the sage. Take the red sage, the dragon's blood sage, okay? And then you want to go around your house while demanding whatever it is. It's all about the proper way that you do it. You open up your windows so that you can let the acidity out, so that you can let that negative energy out of your home. And then, like I said, it's always going to be a negative void. There's going to be a void in your home, okay? So you have to replace that negative void by replacing it with other herbs. Okay, that's going to bring positive things while setting your intentions. See, you have to understand, bro, we can't go by what a lot of people were saying. You feel me? Somebody said, I remember mentioning sage to you and you responded as if it was demonic. Nah, somebody had sent me a demon. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Chantel. Somebody had sent me a demon, right? And see, you have to understand, certain, if you don't know what sage is to like, you will be inviting a demon inside of your home. Okay? So you have to understand, you have to get into aromatherapy. You have to know these type of things before you go inside of that. But I'm giving you the correct ones to use. You want to use white sage to remove the negative energies away from your home. Okay. And you want to use, like, if you use a red sage, that's going to protect you from these demonic energies. The red sage will be the blood sage. Okay. The dragon blood sage. Okay. But you have to understand certain ones. See, if you've been sent something to you, you feel me? And you ain't familiar with these things and you light a certain sage, bro, it's going to drive that demon crazy in your house. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to drive them crazy. And see, what somebody did was they sent me a demon and they was trying to get the scent of that sage on me so that demon would attack me. I'm telling y'all, bro, it get deeper. It get real deep. You feel me?
Concha de la lora. Concha de la lora. Pero como mierda puede ser que no haya nada hoy. Ya la tercera vez.
In April 2001, Art Bell took a random call on Coast to Coast AM. The caller told Art a story about shadow people. Nobody had ever heard of shadow people before, at least not by this name, but Art found the story interesting and asked if anyone else in the audience had a similar encounter. Well, 4,500 stories came in. And last week, I asked viewers of the Y-Files to send their shadow people stories. We got almost 300 submissions in one day.
Art Bell got way more than you.
Well, of course he did. He's Art Bell.
You're jealous.
I'm not jealous. It's not a competition.
Well, yeah, that's what someone who loses a competition says.
I'm not competing with Art Bell.
Oh, that's abundantly clear.
Shadow people will fall into one of a few types. The first is just a black mist without any form. It may look like a cloud of slowly moving smoke. You know this is a shadow person because you can feel a presence or a negative energy in the room. Next, human-shaped shadows. These shadow people clearly have a body, head, and shoulders, though you can't make out any features. Even though you can't see their face, you still get the sense it's looking at you. Like the black mist shadows, these typically disappear when you look directly at them, and this encounter is the most common.
Yes, that's big facts. You hit it on the head. John Clerk say, yeah, you told us told us now wasn't the time to use sage. I think it was because the twin portal was open. That's big facts. Around that time, see, it's a lot of people that work with Anubis, y'all. Okay, they manifest Anubis. I told you, I don't know if you seen my thing last night, my post last night, but I was saying that I heard Anubis barking I mean, I heard, someone had to pass in my community because I heard the dogs howling. They was going crazy in my community last night. I'm like, okay, well, somebody must have passed in this community because I could hear the dogs summoning Anubis. You see what I'm saying? See, because there's plenty times that these dogs, that people pass, yet and still you don't hear Anubis being summoned. You see what I'm saying? So that lets me know that someone is actually working with Anubis. You see what I'm saying? And they're summoning him to collect the soul, and they're using this soul as means to manifest their reality. Okay? So during the time that twin flame portal was open, it was a lot of people, man, that was trying to knock their twin flames off, for lack of better words, y'all. And it's real, bro, so that they can manifest their reality. Okay? And it's just big facts. Anubis, yes. Say, what could I hear? What I could hear dogs. My dogs were going nuts, barking. See, it's not that they bark when they howl. Okay, when they howl, they're summoning Anubis to usher that soul through the afterlife, because that's what Anubis does. Okay, he ushers the soul through the afterlife, and then he judges. He judges the scale by weighing it against, on his scales, by weighing it against a feather. And if your soul is not as light as that feather, your soul will be demolished and you won't make it into the afterlife. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? You will not reincarnate, so on and so forth. That is what Anubis does. Okay? So when them dogs get to howling, and the reason the dogs howl is because Anubis is directly connected to them. Okay? Being half jackal head, and he had the head of a jackal and the body of a man. Okay? I'm finna get ready to do a lecture on Anubis, man. So. Yes, Anubis is connected to my eye. Letitia Jones. He's connected to my eye.
When I was 8, I was experiencing a lot of turmoil in my life due to an alcoholic and abusive father. At this point is when the shadow people started appearing. Never doing anything, just watching. It scared me, but I dare not say anything for fear of being beaten. As the years passed, my paranormal experiences increased to beyond shadow people. I started seeing and interacting with full apparitions. Once I was with my best friend as a teenager.
Ashley Unique, my page, my website will be open. You're gonna be able to get some dragon blood saves off my page, okay?
And a man walked up to
my website
and just said, "Everything is going to be okay." He then walked past us and vanished. My friend just stood there speechless and in shock. When I asked him if he knew that man, he said, "Yes, he's my uncle, but he died 2 years ago." As a young man while in the military, I was stationed at Subic Bay Naval Base in the Philippines. There, many of the locals witnessed shadow people and apparitions around me. The Filipinos would get scared and claimed the aswang were following me.
Moving up in severity, there's the demonic shadow person. These are considered very dangerous. They're similar to human-shaped shadows, but these have glowing red or yellow eyes. And this creature will speak to you, taunt you, and threaten you and your family. Sometimes the room will smell like sulfur, and often this entity will grab you or even try to strangle you. A more specific shadow person is called the Old Hag. This entity takes the shape of an old woman with features that you can see, and she looks like what Western cultures would consider a typical witch. The Old Hag will paralyze you, climb on top of you, and sometimes try to choke you. And this is another shadow being that you can physically feel. My wife and I are on vacation in the mountains. In the middle of our first night, I woke up to the sound of whispering coming from a corner of the room. I turned to look and realized I couldn't move. Then I heard footsteps on the carpet, like the sound of feet dragging. Starting to get scared, I desperately tried to move, but I still couldn't. I tried to wake up my wife, but I couldn't speak. Then I felt something sit on the side of my bed. I still couldn't move, but I felt an ice-cold hand on my face and fingers running through my hair. Then I felt hot breath in my ear and a raspy voice whispered, "Shh." Well, that put me in full-blown panic, but I was still paralyzed. Then I saw it. It was an old woman who looked like a witch. She climbed on top of me and smiled this evil smile. All I could hear was her heavy breath and the sound of my heart pumping through my ears. While holding me down, she started tearing at my clothes. I don't want to get too graphic, but she was violating, As the terror rose, I fought and fought against her, but this just made her laugh. Finally, I could move, and she was gone. I told my wife what happened. We stayed the next 2 nights on the couch and didn't even go into the bedroom. I was so shaken by the encounter that we ended our trip early. I don't believe in ghosts, and I'm not sure I believe in shadow people, but what happened to me felt real. To this day, I've never been more frightened in my life. Then there's a shadow person known as the Hatman. He's usually an extremely large shadow creature who wears a wide-brimmed hat. Again, Freddy Krueger was a Hatman, and sightings of the Hatman have been increasing. And many people believe that the Hatman is a warning, a sign of the end of times.
My story took place in 2003 when I was 17 years old. I had the single most terrifying experience of my life. I was asleep in my room when I suddenly woke up paralyzed and sensing an unease in the room. Despite being awake, I was unable to move any part of my body except for my eyes. I knew I was awake because I can hear the TV that had been left on in the upstairs living room directly above me. As I scanned the room, I noticed movement to my right in the corner of the room. The figure seemed to appear from the shadows, standing as tall as my ceiling, menacingly hunched over. It had no noticeable features like eyes or a mouth. The figure was dressed in a tall top hat and slowly floated towards me, its fingers stretching out and seeming to grow in length as I reached out for me. I felt a genuine sense of complete terror wash over me, like I had never felt before, almost like the feeling of dread was being imposed on me by this being. The entity moved closer and closer, its hand raised in my direction almost in slow motion, and I felt a visceral sense of evil emanating from the figure, a feeling that I had never experienced before and have not felt since. Despite the fear that gripped me, I was also terrified by the intensity of the movement and the eerie, unnatural movement of the shadowy figure. Only when the fear became overwhelmingly intense did I finally snap out of the paralysis. I am a logical, reasonable person, and I did not believe in the paranormal. That is why, after the initial terror left me, I found the whole experience to be rather entertaining. I mean, the top hat was just ridiculous. I never once believed that my experience was real, and I thought that I was simply experiencing a waking dream. It wasn't until several years later, when I was watching a documentary on Netflix called The Nightmare, that I started to feel like maybe it wasn't just a hallucination I experienced all those years earlier. After several minutes,
I think we all done got by the succubus, man, and the I want to say the sleep paralysis. I think we've all had that experience in our lives.
into this documentary, someone was recounting their paralysis experience, and they showed a sketch of what they had experienced. To my shock and disbelief, this sketch was the exact same Hatman figure that I had seen nearly 10 years earlier. I mean, exact same. How was this possible? I paused the show, completely frozen in disbelief, as for the first time I knew that I had experienced something otherworldly that others were apparently also experiencing. Seeing a shadowy human figure was easy for me to attribute to some sort of common psychological human manifestation, but the commonality of that very unique top hat, which held no significance to me, was impossible to explain and shook me to my core.
Oh man, Kelly O'Brien, you a fool, man. He say, what would happen if you went along with what the old hag wants? Would she smoke a cigarettes afterwards with you? Maybe a takeout pizza. This dude crazy, man. Man, look. But yeah, I can remember the first time, man, that cause during my younger years, man, my adolescence, I was, I did a lot of the time in the juvenile facility, y'all. So I'll never forget one day I came back from court and I was so tired that I was, I wanted to go to sleep. Which this wasn't the first time that I was ever rolled by a witch, okay, or had sleep paralysis, as they would like to have you believe it, okay? But see, you have to understand, they only give these false terminologies so that you would never think that, this stuff actually happens in the spiritual realm, okay? But as you can see at the beginning of the video, they told you it goes all the way back to the Samaritan civilization. So we know that they're bigger than just some fake ass terminology that they made up. Okay, but I was asleep one night when I came back. I went to sleep. I was so tired, y'all. And I could just hear the kids, because at night they would talk outside of their doors. They had a habit of just talking out. That's how they communicated with one another, because we would be in the room for, I want to say, maybe about 22 hours a day, which I feel is unjust for juveniles, right? But yeah, we would be they were talking outside of their rooms, man, and I remember just being so tired that I crashed out. After I ate, I went to sleep. And immediately a witch rolled my back and I was just moving around. I was just trying to continuously move. This happened to me twice while I was in there. One time I had an out-of-body experience, but this particular time, man, I was just screaming like, help, help. I was calling the people's name, you know, that was next to me. And they always say, man, all you have to do is pray and it would get up off of you, man. Well, this night I was determined not to pray, y'all. I'm like, it's going to get up off me, man. You feel me? But I ended up having to pray that night. You feel me? But at the same time, yes, these things are very real, man. And it's other people who will tell you that they've experienced these things, man. Where they could be laying right next to their spouse. And then this witch will be riding them and they'll be saying, help, help, wake me up. And you could just hear them like, They'll be making a sound like, You feel me? That's them being stuck, bro. That's this demon trying to actually snatch their soul from them. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy.
The Hatman is a type of shadow being, but he has some traits that make him unique. Obviously, the most notable feature of the Hatman shadow entity is his hat.
Oh, is it? It's not his button-down cardigan sweater?
The type of hat varies by culture. Some say it's a fedora like Freddy Krueger. Some say it's a top hat. In South America, they say he wears a gaucho hat. But regardless of who sees him, the hat is always wide-brimmed. Sometimes the Hatman has glowing eyes. Witnesses say he wears a cloak or a trench coat. He's always tall. Sometimes he stands over 10 feet high. One thing everyone agrees on, seeing the Hatman is bad news.
We were living in a house where a lady hung herself from the rafters of the living room. Upstairs was condemned. Used to be 2 apartments. There was so much activity up there, you would have thought the apartments were occupied. Once the landlord came to fix a leak from up there, I told him about the activity. He said, no way anyone is up there. It's locked. It's impossible. I told him there's constant walking around, constant banging, like someone is moving furniture. A couple of days later, my wife and I started hearing the sound of one of those springy things that stop the door from hitting the wall. Just over and over again, brown, brown, and it's right behind our door. We open the door and the noise is still happening, but there's no springy thing. Nowhere for the noise to be coming from, but it's still happening. We looked at each other baffled. After 2 minutes of the noise, it stops. The broom is leaning behind the bunk bed and it flies out and falls over. The dog is spooked, and right then the trash can slides about 5 feet, stopping right before the dog. He freaks and he's ready to get out of the room. Later in the night, our 3-year-old daughter wants to sleep with us. She's in the middle of my wife and I, and at exactly 3 a.m. I'm woken up, and standing over me is the tallest shadow person I've ever seen. Our roof is 8 feet, and he was hunched over staring directly at me. He had a top hat on, and you can see the white in his eyes, and he grinned and I saw white in his mouth, like teeth. So naturally covered my head and grabbed my baby girl and wife. Looked about 3 to 4 minutes later, and he was gone. Scared the bejesus out of me.
The Hatman can create or is attracted to negative energy. Bad luck, illness, even death follow the Hatman.
I saw the Hatman in 2003. I was lying in bed ready to go to sleep with my boyfriend beside me. I was laying there and looked up and saw the Hatman standing behind the door. I had never heard about the Hatman or shadow people, and I thought I was seeing things, or that it was because I had taken a sleeping pill that night. I said, "There's a man behind the door." My boyfriend said, "Shut up and go to sleep." That should tell you how concerned about it we were. I eventually went to sleep and thought nothing else about it. My boyfriend died.
Karina Verez say, how do I raise my vibrations? Positive thought process. You want to continuously think positive and you want to meditate. Meditation is going to be an easy way for you to raise your vibrations. Another thing, if you someone that loves to laugh, yes, you're going to raise your vibrations through laughter, y'all. And I tell a lot of people, man, you do the things that you love in order to raise your vibrations. So if you someone that loves music, cut music on and dance. If you understand that your vibration is low at a certain time, cut music on and dance. Is going to immediately raise your vibrations up. I'm telling you. Learn to laugh, y'all. That's how you raise your vibrations. Let's rewind this a little bit, though.
White in his eyes, and he grinned and I saw white in his mouth, like teeth. So naturally covered my head and grabbed my baby girl and wife. Looked about 3 to 4 minutes later, and he was gone. Scared the bejesus out of me.
The Hatman can create or is attracted to negative energy. Bad luck, illness, even death follow the Hatman.
I saw the Hatman in 2003. I was lying in bed ready to go to sleep with my boyfriend beside me. I was laying there and looked up and saw the Hatman standing behind the door. I had never heard about the Hatman or shadow people, and I thought I was seeing things, or that it was because I had taken a sleeping pill that night. I said, "There's a man behind the door." My boyfriend said, "Shut up and go to sleep." That should tell you how concerned about it we were. I eventually went to sleep and thought nothing else about it. My boyfriend died in his sleep later that year. It was within a few months of this happening.
Sometimes the Hatman brings visions of a future apocalypse. Some people who've seen him said he showed them a dark future, nuclear war, worldwide disease, and famine. And the Hatman sometimes gets attached to entire families, where multiple people can see him. And once he latches on, it's almost impossible to get rid of him. Some people even see him away from their homes, and in daylight.
This happened to me 10 years ago when I was a teenager. I was sitting alone at the kitchen table eating. Then a sense of dread and downright paralysis came over me, and I was compelled to look at the kitchen door. Right there, I can clearly see the shadow of a man with a hat and glowing yellow eyes. I could only watch, not being able to move a muscle. His face was practically a shadow, but I felt him smile in a condescending manner. And just like that, he rounded the corner and disappeared. I'm 100% sure of what I saw. My case cannot be discounted as sleep paralysis because I was wide awake. It was broad daylight around 2 or 3 p.m.
So who is the Hatman? What are shadow people? Some say ghosts. Some say they're from another time or another dimension. Others say they're from another planet. There is no consensus among paranormal researchers as to what shadow people are, but the theories are interesting. The obvious theory is that shadow people are ghosts, and when they appear, it's a kind of haunting. But ghosts typically reveal themselves as light or energy, not shadow, and ghosts usually have defined features and clothing, so I don't think that's right. Another theory is that the shadows are astral projections of people who are having out-of-body experiences. I disagree with this one too. People who report seeing astral bodies or astral projections describe them more like ghosts than shadows. Astral projections usually have features and are usually light, not dark. A very interesting theory is that shadow people are interdimensional travelers. Maybe the shadows are actually people from other dimensions or realities and are here to observe. Maybe the shadow person you see is actually you from another dimension or another timeline. A common theory is that shadow people are demons. Christians who see the Hatman have no doubt that he is a demon or the devil himself. And there's everybody's favorite theory, that shadow people are aliens. There are many shadow people encounters where the entity has large eyes and a small mouth. Some people who've seen this type of shadow being say once they focus, it becomes less like a shadow and more like a creature that's actually there. Also, reports of shadow people sightings are extremely common among alien abductees. Maybe the aliens are checking up on their experiment. Or maybe abductions begin with the alien emerging from the shadows to take them away. Alien abductees sometimes report shadow people as being blue shadows and not very tall. And blue shadows are seen outside just as often as they're seen inside. Some people believe the aliens are using a cloaking device or other technology that gives them a shadowy appearance. This technology also helps them walk through walls or disappear completely. Encounters with shadow people feel so real that those who see them question their own sanity. This is why many, if not most, shadow being encounters go unreported. The big question is there a logical, rational, scientific explanation for shadow people? Well, I've got good news and I've got bad news. We usually think of being asleep and being awake as two distinct and clearly defined states, and usually they are. But inside your brain, that line can be a bit blurry. When you're dreaming, most of your brain thinks you're awake. If you're dreaming that you're running, playing a sport, or any physical activity, your brain thinks this is really happening, and your muscles want to engage with whatever you're dreaming about. Obviously, trying to slay a dragon full of orcs while you're tucked in next to the wife would be a problem.
Go ahead and tell him you're speaking from personal experience.
I don't want to talk about it.
You know, wearing all that armor to bed isn't helping your sex life.
I said leave it alone.
And it's beyond me how anyone can sleep in a wooden codpiece.
Okay, that's enough. So while you dream, your brain switches off your muscles. This is called muscle atonia. Involuntary muscles still work, breathing, heartbeat, digestion, peristalsis, but voluntary motor functions are shut down. This shutdown occurs during hypnagogia, the transition from wakefulness to sleep. During hypnopompia, the transition to being awake, your muscles are turned back on. You're asleep during this process so you don't notice it. but sometimes the brain's wires get crossed and you're conscious while your muscles are shutting down. Have you ever been drifting off to sleep, then suddenly you jerk or kick? This happens when your brain is out of sync with your sleep cycle. You slipped into a dream before your brain had a chance to completely shut down your muscles. You'll notice this happening more often when you're overtired. But sometimes your brain gets so out of sync that you can suffer from sleep paralysis. This is when you are fully conscious while your muscles are switched off. You're completely awake, but you can't move. You can't turn your head. You can't speak. All you can do is move your eyes, and sometimes you can't even do that. Sleep paralysis usually just lasts for a few seconds, but sometimes it can go on for a few minutes, and this could be terrifying. During sleep paralysis, sometimes you see and hear things that aren't there. These are hypnagogic hallucinations. And remember, even though you're awake, you're still close enough to the dream state that your brainstem can activate the dream mechanism and conjure all kinds of things. So the hallucinations can feel very real. Not only can you have visual and auditory hallucinations, you can experience somesthetic hallucinations. This is when your body can feel something that isn't there. The cherry on top of this horrible experience is the negativity that occurs. There aren't a lot of happy stories about sleep paralysis. This is because when you're sleeping, your brain has a deficit of the neurotransmitters serotonin and dopamine. This causes low mood, depression, and fear. The reason shadow people encounters sound so similar is that humans are all built pretty much the same way. It would be logical for us to hallucinate the same things. But those who believe in shadow people think there's more going on than just sleep paralysis. The encounters described are too similar. Regardless of age, religion, or culture, people see the same shadow beings. Believers say shadow entities appear while we're sleeping because that's when we're most vulnerable. So let's all hope that sleep paralysis creates shadow people, because I can think of nothing more frightening than it being the other way around.
See, this is why I tell y'all, man, you have to most definitely sleep with your head covered at night, okay? Especially if you someone who's very familiar with like traveling the astral realms. Somebody taught me this, man. I had to learn this to myself. You want to sleep with a cap over your head, because people who are trying to attack you, you don't know who's jealous. You don't know who's in your family that wants to try to get to you through the astral realm. And they do it when you sleep because you're vulnerable and you only think that a dream is nothing more than a dream. So when you have succubus entities in your dream that's trying to lay you down and intertwine themselves with you, that's them trying to attach themselves to you through the astral realm. When you have entities in your dream that's trying to feed you in your dream, that's them trying to harm you in the astral realm. Okay. And this is why so many of our ancestors, when they go to sleep, they cover their heads. It's not all about having a good, hairdo, so on and so forth. They cover their heads so that they won't be attacked. See, me, myself, man, I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. I have a nightlight. And it ain't that I'm afraid, bro. It's just that I don't like being in a dark house. When I was younger, man, my mother always kept the bathroom light on in the hallway. She always kept the bathroom light on. Okay. So that was something I was used to, just having the light on in my house. And I was always taught that when you leave, you don't leave your house completely dark. You keep a light on so that when you come in, you can see, what's going on in your home, man. So even to this day, man, I have a night lamp I got a night light. I don't look, I ain't playing like that, but I ain't afraid though. I'm not afraid, to be honest with y'all, man, because whether you have a light on or not, you can still be subjected to these entities. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. People will be asleep and then they'll be attacked. I've been in the room while other people were being attacked by these witches or, whatever was going on. And I've actually heard them like, trying to get up out of it, y'all. But, they couldn't get up out of it. They tell you to pray. And it's been times that I prayed and I immediately was released. That's how you know that prayer is very effective. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was released. But I want y'all to hear what Michelle Kaysen said. She said, I had to experience the old hag with the old hag. It was the scariest thing that had ever happened to me. When I was finally able to get up, I took off running into the next room where my daughter was up on her laptop, and she told me I had the most afraid look on my face. All I remember is telling her was to move over. And the next morning, I told my mom what I had experienced, and she said that the old hag had jumped on me. Now, mind you, my grandmother had passed, and the pastor of her church had stopped by the morning, and I had explained what had happened to me that night. And he also said that I had an experience with the old hag, and he held my hand, and we began to pray. But baby, I could just hear you saying, but baby, I can hear you saying that. What she say? But baby, she say, but baby, I ain't never been that scared in my whole life. It was like I was up, but this scary witch like person was sitting on my chest and even and keeping me from screaming. But I could hear people in the next room talking, but couldn't get up until it let me. That's big facts. This is how it always happens, y'all. Like, and this, I want you to understand, bro. These are the stories that our ancestors told. Okay, that never made it to us because the story stopped being told. We no longer sit by the fires and tell stories anymore. We no longer get these stories before we go to bed. These are not the stories that are being told in our households anymore. So therefore, we don't know how to protect ourselves from these things anymore. Okay? And they scare you by saying, oh, don't partake in certain things because it's evil to partake in it. But these are the same rituals and things that our ancestors used in order to protect their homes from them. How many of you, because I know coming up in my mother's side of the family, coming up in her home, my grandmother kept crystals in jars in her living room. You see what I'm saying? At the time, I never knew that they were crystals. I thought they were just like marbles, but they were crystals, crystal marbles probably. You see what I'm saying? And these crystals were there for a reason. You see? These are the things that they use to protect us in these households, but we didn't know it. You see? And they scare us away from it with modern day religion. It isn't until you go further past the religion that you start to really realize that, you know, these were naturally a part of our heritage, that we were naturally spiritual beings. You don't know these type of things, bro, because they scare you out of your belief, out of your spiritual beliefs. You see what I'm saying? John Clerk say, I'm always sleeping with the light on. That's big facts. So, yeah. You know, we have to start back getting back to our ancestral heritage, y'all. We have to start back getting back to the spiritual essence of us. I posted a video with a pastor saying that Christianity was nowhere in the Bible. Hey, it was a lot of clap back at that too. They ain't like that. Oh, he's not, bro. This dude be going hard for the word. But as soon as somebody says something that you don't believe, you get up and you try to make it seem like, oh, well, he's going against what I said. Bro, sometimes you need to shut the F up and just listen. Because there's people that's giving you valuable information, bro, but you don't want to listen because it was never written in that Bible. And you have no understanding that history goes way beyond that Bible. That Bible is young. It's no more than like 6,000 years old. You're talking about a planet that's been around for billions of years. You're talking about a history of individuals, of people, a culture of people that have been around for billions of years. How do we know this? Because history is in the dirt. People are being dug up on a day-to-day basis. You see what I'm saying? Say Awakening. Sorry to ask this question, but is your mom or dad a witch? Why would you say that? No, they ain't witches. Why would you say that? But this is our heritage. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like this, our ancestors believed in this. It's scriptures in the Bible, bro, where the kings adorned their armor with crystals. Crystals go a long way back. This is the point that I'm trying to get you to understand, okay? But yeah, with that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the live, man. And yeah, you make sure you get over to YouTube if you haven't already, man, and hit that subscription icon. Please don't forget to hit that post notification bell and select all. And so you'll be notified every time we go live, right? Also, please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at IamAwakened_chosen1, man, because we most definitely cut up over there, all right? And I just want to leave you guys as I came. I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy. Always creates elevation. Ashe.